Deku X Reader, Part 9. Izuku POV. I was sitting in class, listening to the lecture given to us by Mr. Aizawa, until I heard you mumbling to yourself, so I giggled. You stopped mumbling, so I look over at you only to see that you started to cry. Are you alright? I'm fine, just got something in my eye, you replied. I knew you weren't okay, but I decided to leave it until lunch came around. Lunch was now here, and you quickly exited the class, and I saw a yellow-haired boy get up and follow you. Like hell, I'm letting you follow her, I whisper quietly. I follow after you, and soon realized that you were heading to the roof. I ran back down the stairs as soon as I saw him hug you. What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? I repeated, each time getting more aggravated. I found an empty corridor and sat in the corner. Back to your POV. I heard someone running down the stairs leading to the roof and wondered if it might have been Izuku. I'm going back downstairs. I have a friend waiting for me. You coming? Nah, thanks for asking though, he replies, looking at the view. You just nod and smile politely, then make your way down to see who was on the stairs. You saw green hair turn a corner and head down an empty hallway, then sit in a corner. He looked really upset. Then you had an idea. Freeze, you whisper. Everything around you froze, and you started making your way over to Izuku and sat down next to him. You lifted up his head and saw that his face was wet. You felt a massive pang of guilt and made him unfreeze. So now you and Izuku were the only ones that can move. He looked up at you and screamed. Shit, sorry Izuku, you say quickly. It's fine. You gotta remember that I do get scared whenever you do that. He chuckles. You go to sit down next to him. So, why were you crying? You ask in a polite but stern voice. It's nothing, just overreacting over something, he says, while avoiding eye contact. You grab his hand and hold it firmly in yours. Where do you want to go? You ask. He looked at you with a massive smile on his face and excitement in his eyes. But won't it drain your energy? Yeah, well, a lot, but I'm willing to suffer the consequences of sleep. You giggle. So where do you want to go? How about space? He asks. Close your eyes, you tell him. When his eyes were closed, you activated your quirk and changed the scenery to space. You can open them now, you say. His eyes opened and just looked around in pure amazement before breaking out into tears. Whoa, 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 what the hell is wrong? You pull his face towards yours and held eye contact. Close, you say. He closes his eyes once more and changed the surroundings once again. You don't care how much energy you're going to waste with this. The only thing you care about right now was getting Izuku to smile. Open. He looks around and sees you two as children. It was the time when Izuku saved you from Kachan. He walked over to the little crying version of you and reached out to pat your head, but his hand goes right through. I forgot that happens. He smiles and then makes his way over to you again. Can you change the scenery back? You nod and change it back to the school corridor. When you were back, you tried to walk, but instead you collapsed and blacked out. You woke up and looked at where you were. You were in your bed. You remember exactly what happened and why you blacked out. Izuku entered the room holding a bowl, 2 bowls of ice cream. All Might soon entered as well and asked if you were alright and told you not to do whatever you did again. I don't expect you to tell me anytime soon, but know that I am here if you want to tell anyone about your quirk, he says before exiting. Now, what's wrong? You ask. Izuku then went on to explain how he followed you after class and found you and Kaminari dancing and hugging on the rooftop. You listened to every word he said intently, and when he finished his rant, you just stared at him. What? He asks, chuckling nervously. Instead of replying, you move closer and kiss his cheek. After you performed that action, you looked at Izuku's face to see his reaction. You missed, he whispered. What? Before you could finish what you wanted to say, Izuku put his hand around your waist and pulled you closer before kissing you on the lips. Your eyes widened at the sudden action, but you soon melted into the kiss. You pulled away for air and looked at the green-haired boy. His face was so red, and you don't doubt that yours looked the same. You looked at his lips, wanting to kiss him again. Target acquired, you say, before bringing him in for another kiss. Deku X Reader, Part 10. Your eyes shot open and you sat up quickly. It was a flipping dream? You shot out angrily. Before you could go into an angry 5-year-old mode for 3 hours, there was a knock at your door. Are you okay? Said a concerned Izuku. You let out a huff and furrowed your eyebrows. Izuku opened the door and took one long look at you before laughing. Angry 5-year-old? Really? You crossed your arms and stared at him. He started to approach your bed and sat down next to you. What's gotten you angry now? He asks with a chuckle. There was you and blah and then blah, and all of it was just blah and stupid, and I hate it. Talking like that made you even more angry, so you puffed your cheeks up a bit. Deku POV. Gosh, she's so cute when she's angry. The way her cheeks puff up and she crosses her arm, and holy god, does she remember that I was jealous over her and Kaminari? Oh, she better not. I started to silently freak out. Back to your POV. You snapped out of your childish state when you saw Izuku was panicked. You alright? Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just worried about you. When I was in the middle of talking to you after you had woken up the first time, you just passed out again. We were talking? What were we talking about? I never knew this my second time waking up. Izuku looked kind of relieved by what you said. Anyway, if you feel like you're ready, I made breakfast. All Might is still at school and he won't be home for another few hours, so he sent me here to take care of you, he says. You nod at him and get out of bed. You head for the door, and Izuku follows behind. You are now at the dining room table, eating some ramen while chatting away with Izuku. When you and Izuku finish eating, you guys headed to the lounge to watch a movie. How about this new movie called The Conjuring? I don't know. It sounds kind of scary, you reply. There's no need to be scared. Not if I'm here to protect you, Izuku says smugly while flexing. You just giggle at his behavior and agree on the movie. Who the hell is dragging her down the hallway? You shout in fear. It's the lady that cursed the property before she hung herself on the big tree near the river, he replied. How are you so calm about this? You covered your face in the blanket you were using and started shaking. You soon felt an arm wrap around you and pull you closer. I'll tell you the truth, I'm not calm. This is terrifying. You wouldn't believe how many times I've wanted to scream and run out of the room. You looked at him in surprise, and sure enough, you saw fear in his eyes. You snuggled closer to Izuku, and whenever a scary bit happened, he just held you tighter. Deku, X-Reader, Part 11. The movie is finished, and you were pretty sure you shit yourself. Not literally, of course, but holy damn, that was terrifying. You were about to get up, but the grip Izuku had around your waist tightened, so you look up to ask if he would like a drink. But when you did, his eyes were closed, and he was slightly drooling. God, you're cute, you whisper under your breath. You decided that you didn't need a drink, and instead lay your head back down on his shoulder and drift off to sleep. All Might POV. Another day of being a good role model, I shout when I exit the school. All Might, I need to speak with you. I turn around and see Aizawa standing near the school gate, awaiting for me to follow him. Of course I do. He's kinda scary when he gets angry, so I don't want to annoy him. We head to his office and both sit down. I change into my normal form and spin around in the chair a couple times. So, Shota, what do you want to talk about? First of all, stop spitting in the chair. Second, when do you plan on telling her? You can't keep it a secret forever. Aizawa leans back in his chair and rubs his forehead. I know I have to tell her at some point or another, but I'm afraid I don't know much yet. The only way to learn more is if she tells me herself, I reply. Aizawa just looks at me and sighs. Let's just hope it turns out okay. I'd hate to see her upset with you. I smile at Aizawa and lift myself up from the chair. It was nice of you to worry, but I do need to get back. Aizawa nods and smiles back at me. I exit the room and make it halfway to the stairs before I remember I forgot to ask Aizawa something, so I make my way back into his office. I open the door and hear him quietly laughing to himself. I open the door a bit more until I could completely see inside the room. What was happening before me was enough to make a rock burst into laughter. Aizawa was spinning on his chair. I let out a snort while trying to contain my laughter. That scared the shit out of him, and he almost fell off the chair. He regained his composure and looked at me with a blank expression before asking me what I wanted. Nothing. I'll let you get back to your spin fest. I was laughing the entire way back home. When I pulled in the driveway, I heard shouting. Obviously, I rushed to the door. How are you so calm about this? I leaned my ear closer to the door and heard giggling. That's right, I need milk. I got back into the car and went to the store to get some milk. instead of being a normal person and just getting milk. I came out that shop with packets of chips, donuts, strawberry milk, chocolate milk, and banana milk. Who needs normal milk? Normal milk is for the weaklings. I head back home and open the door, and I was greeted by the sight of you and young Magnolia sleeping on the couch. My mind was rushing, my hands were clenched, and a lump in my throat was now forming. So I did what any not-normal uncle would do. I took photos and sent them to President Mike and Izawa. Can you blame me? They were adorable. After my struggle of trying not to squill after seeing that adorable sight, I headed to the kitchen to put everything away. I then headed to my room and chatted with Mike and Izawa about how cute they would be together. Obviously, Izawa didn't really join on the conversation too much. It was mainly Mike and I talking about how perfect they are for each other. I woke up due to the fact that Izuku was moving and his breathing became abnormal. I sat up to find that his lips were pursed and his eyebrows were slightly raised. I flicked him on the head, causing him to freak out and start blabbering nonsense. I just laughed a bit. So, who were you kissing in your dream? I asked with a smirk. What? No one. I wasn't kissing anyone. I can't believe you with that. I wouldn't kiss anyone other than who? I brushed off what he was about to say and just laughed at his actions. Want a drink? I asked while getting off the couch. I'll come with you, he replied. He doesn't answer my question, but okay. We made it to the kitchen and realized that it was stocked. I opened the fridge and see that all there was milk. Basically just milk, with a few essentials for cooking spaghetti, but other than that it was milk. Is All Might drunk? Izuku asks. You just look at him and shrug your shoulders before closing the fridge. You sit down on the counter because Izuku said that he'll make bacon and eggs. You've never really been the best at making bacon and eggs, so Izuku offered. You heard a slight giggle coming from the hallway, so you turn your head to see All Might poking his phone around the corner. You walk up to the corner and quickly jump around it while yelling. All Might threw his phone across the room and jumped back. Hello there, I wasn't expecting you to be down here, he says as he clears his throat. Deku X Reader, Part 12. All Might smiles awkwardly as you stare at him in confusion. You soon realize what he was doing and smirk. And what do you suppose you were recording on that phone, mister? You say with a grin. Nothing, I was just checking if the air conditioner was working. You break out into laughter, and Izuku did the same. So you threw your phone across the room? You ask, still laughing. Izuku POV. I have the best idea. Back to your POV. I was still laughing at All Might when something unexpected happened. Izuku came up and put his arm around my shoulder. What is he doing? Oh my god, I'm about to faint. So, All Might, from what I've gathered, you ship her and I? Is that correct? Izuku said smugly. I turned back to All Might, only to see his cheeks puffed out and his face red. Is he holding back a squeal? Funny enough, he started squealing seconds after I thought that. Oh my gosh, you two are the cutest people in the entire world. Even Izawa, that thing, you need to be together, he shouts quickly. Izuku removes his arm and covers his mouth while laughing. Oh, please put your arm back. Sorry to burst your bubble, All Might, but she has absolutely no romantic interest in me. He stops laughing. I only see her as a friend, and she only sees a friend in me as well. You what, maid? You could have at least asked me, you prick. Your mother would want you home by now, wouldn't she, Izuku? You try to keep your cool, but you don't know how much longer you can handle this. Oh, actually, yeah, dinner should be ready soon. I'll see you at school tomorrow, he says while walking out the door. Your eyes fill with tears, and you barge past All Might and into your room. You slam the door shut, jump into bed, and start sobbing while clutching a pillow. What? You say. May I come in? All Might asks. Whatever. You wipe away your tears and try to make it look like you're fine. Obviously, you didn't fool All Might. He walks in and extends his hand. Toshinori Yagi, I'm your uncle. It's a pleasure to meet you. He smiles. You take his hand with a smile. Nice to meet you too, Uncle Toshi. He started to tear up when you call him Uncle Toshi. He pulled you in for a hug. I'm so sorry I couldn't protect you. He starts to cry into your shoulder. Thank you for sticking around for Deku X Reader, parts 9 through 12. This is Bizarre ASMR, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.